Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting, the shooting podcast on the internet, for the internet, because of the internet, and my somewhat boredom. But it's okay. Without further ado, let's plug the title sponsor of the podcast, Go Fast, Don't Suck. They make all my match banners, all the dry fire targets for your living room or basement, wherever you dry fire, they've got them for you. The hurtful memes that are somewhat true on the internet because they hit you deep in the soul. But anyway, go check them out, gofastdon'tsuck.net. Tell them Manny sent you in your order notes. I'd greatly appreciate that, and move on with your day. Without further ado, we are sitting down with a world champion, Joon Kim. Joon, how you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me. But I'm not a world champion yet.
You're not a world. What? How are you not a world champion? Who told me this wrong information? Somebody. Was it myself? I don't know. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
No, but anyway, what'd you shoot? You shot what, fourth? Yeah,
Yeah,
fourth.
something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just hyped you up then because I'm a ding
Yeah.
dong, but it's all good.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, so we'll
But
have
I'm
this.
getting there. I'm
You're
getting there.
getting there.
Yeah.
World champion in my heart. Then is that
Thank
will
you.
that work?
Appreciate it.
But that's okay. Anyway, now that I've embarrassed the shit out of myself, we'll get on this conversation. So, Joon, we need to tell the people who you are and how you got into shooting.
Oh, okay. I didn't prepare for this speech, but how did I get into shooting? Uh, in pistol shooting or shooting in general? So
Oh, whatever
that's
rolls off the tongue. If you want to be like practical shooting, that's fine.
yeah.
It's what it is. It's
So I started as a collector. I started collecting like cool rifles and things like that because I used to play video games. So I would collect all the rifles that I used in the video games initially. And then at some point, uh it's a little bit of a shame to talk about it. Um I I got into action pistol shooting because uh of John Wick. So when the movie first came out, Taron started releasing some of the videos of him shooting versus Robert Vogel.
hmm
I'm sure you've seen that. It has a lot of views,
yeah.
and they're doing like crazy hip draw and just blazing on plate racks. And I watched that video. I was fascinated by it, and then I watched Bob Vogel just killing it with the Glock, and I didn't know it was possible. Like I didn't know a person could do that. So that's sort of how I got into pistol shooting.
Gotcha. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. John Wick is everyone's kind of fancy, right?
Yeah,
Until like they start watching the movies and they're like, oh, like this is a lot more killing than a movie after like the
yeah,
fourth and third one.
yeah.
But that's all good. It definitely is. It definitely is a good movie, and so you got kind of collect. You started you collecting, and you were into video games like Call of Duty, or what else was there out that time? What, Call of Duty and maybe Halo, right?
Well, I played PC
Mm-hmm.
on PC, Counter Strike, and like Armed Assault, like some military simulations,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool. And now going down the rabbit hole a little bit. PC? Did you build your own PC? Did you buy a PC?
I did. I built my PC, and the one I'm using now is like 10 years old and they're still going strong.
Have you had to replace a lot of parts in it yet, or no?
Some of the parts, but the tower itself is like over 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had to replace the motherboard. At some point, when you replace a motherboard, you kind of have to replace the CPU too, because they go by the socket size. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Gotcha. Now, now, do you dabble that a lot, or is that just kind of like a one-time thing? You built your PC and then just kind of fixed it along.
So I stopped playing video games when I started shooting. I'm
Oh,
like,
because they're
hey,
expensive, right?
wait, what do you mean?
Well, like, shooting's expensive. You can't be playing video games. You got no time for it.
Yeah, for one, it's well, yeah, but it's mostly because like um I can shoot in real life instead of in a video game. So
Mhm.
why
Yeah.
would I, still play video games? So that's my thought. But I know people still play video games who shoot with me. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, what like a lot of people just like use it as a de-stressor, right? When it's
yeah,
cold. Well, you don't have this problem because it's never cold where you live, so you don't have to worry about taking an off season due to snow on the ground. Lucky
it
people.
does get really cold in winter though. No
Yeah.
snow.
No
Yeah.
snow, so you can still go out and shoot though.
So we have the dry heat, right? Dry
Hmm.
climate,
Hmm.
and in winter there are times when it's very windy.
Hmm.
And when you go out to a range when it's cold and windy, your fingers just won't work. So we do have pretty bad winter.
Yeah. So then I guess a good question is, do you take the winter off or do you just like slow down in the winter or shoot indoors?
um, so there it's not every day when it's windy. So when it's not very windy, then I go out and try to get some rounds downrange.
Gotcha.
But it does slow down a little bit just because of the weather and the season's pretty much off, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense though. But anyway, so when you first got into practical shooting, was it? I'm assuming it was directly into USP or USPSA, or was it another offsect or maybe even IDPA?
So I think I did start with USPSA, and then because my friend shoots IDPA, I tried that one time. I tried that one time, and that was the last time. Yeah.
Yeah. So in USPSA, did you start in carry optics or did you start in another division?
Oh no. I started in production.
Hmm.
From production, I moved on to limited, and then from limited, I put a dot on it on my Glock. It was like, oh, okay, like shooting a dot is very fun. So I started shooting carry optics.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. How long has it been since you started shooting then?
So this would be my definitely over 5 years. I think it is my sixth year. Yeah. So yeah, 6 years.
Okay. Yeah, so been shooting for 6 years. So I guess okay. Most people, it seems like who've started now in like the last three or so years, they just jump straight into carry optics. It seems like, which is pretty nice and
Yeah,
cool for everybody.
pretty much. Yeah.
But so that's cool. So you said you started with a Glock then in production?
Yeah, so I started with a Glock, stayed because Bob Vogel was my inspiration to start shooting, practical shooting.
Hmm.
Uh, Started with a Glock 34, and then um, I there was a limited nationals in St. George. So, oh, I wanted to shoot that. So I was like, all right, okay, I'll probably, shoot the same platform but 40 cal. So from there on, I started shooting 40 cal or Glock 35, I think.
Hmm.
Glock 24 in limited. Um, and then it progressed to just running Glock 34 dotted in Care Optics.
Gotcha. Now you don't shoot Glocks anymore, do you?
Yeah, so I at some point I moved away from Glock. I shot SIG P320 X5 for the last maybe 2.5 years,
Hmm.
but it was good. And then I recently moved on to CZ.
Now, what made you want to switch over to the CZ from the SIGs?
Ooh. Well, so let's start from the beginning, right?
Hmm.
I switched from Glock to SIG because the USPSA rules are changing constantly, and it was like kind of a big platform back then, maybe 2019 or 20.
Hmm.
but I switched to SIG because um, the added weight, I felt like it was an advantage, and Max Michel, I kind of started following Max Michel because he was doing pretty well in carry optics. So I was very closely monitoring him and his performance, and he was using SIG. So I was like, okay, let's give SIG a try, and that's why I jumped into SIG. And then recently, CZ, because SIG is has some issues, like some accuracy issues, and I wasn't very happy with it. So I decided to try, what everyone's shooting now. Everybody's shooting CZ. So I'm like, okay, let's try CZ. And then I got hooked instantly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you've been so when did you most like within the last year switch to the CZ then?
No, like literally last month.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
it's fairly recent. So you're still getting, finding love for the gun, even though you've pretty much switched over to open when you want to shoot open. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to stay in open. It's just CZ is being a distraction right now. I
well,
just shot a match with the CZ too.
well, it makes sense with when you're shooting if you go shoot a PCSL match like we talked earlier,
Yeah.
is there's no major. You get no advantage for shooting an
Yep.
open gun. So it's like might
Yep.
as well shoot carry optics, limited optics, whatever they call it, and
Hmm. And
yeah.
I'm right now. I have a 9 major open gun.
Hmm.
Uh, and in the future, I'll probably have a 38 Super Comp. But 9 major is a bit violent, and I did notice my CZ's almost shooting better because you're shooting 9 minor,
Hmm.
and it's a very soft shooting gun. So like, there's probably no gain in shooting, bringing my open gun if I'm, going to that PCSL match. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, nothing wrong with. Yeah, I agree. Especially when you, like I said, you it's all the same scoring system, so you might as well shoot what
yeah,
everyone else is shooting, not waste a bunch of powder because to make about a louder boom. As we
yeah,
know that, like, essentially is you put the case down, you fill it up, you squish it with the bullet, and
yeah.
hopefully it stays.
Yeah, and it's my OCD, but 9 major, it's eventually gonna fail, right? It
Hmm.
has a limited number of rounds until it fails. So I want to kind of keep it in a good condition until I'm shooting a major match, a more important match. So
Hmm.
I want to keep it from being used too much. Too, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense though because we don't want to keep. It just sucks to have to go buy more guns, right? Like, well, you're kind of a collector. Are you still kind of a collector still? You go buy guns, or is it more of a purpose to what you're doing now?
Yeah, so since I started shooting competition, I completely stopped collecting. In
Hmm.
fact, I basically sold all the collections, and I just buy guns that are needed for the
Yeah,
sports.
gotcha. So when you, well, that's I guess that's smart because then you can afford your hobby of shooting, right? You can go buy components, reloading supplies, match fees.
Yeah,
But
yeah, the ammunition.
yeah. Now, do you mostly buy it? Like, I know we're both on the Summit City Bullets team, but do you still load most of your ammo, or do you try to supplement some of your ammo with purchasing ammo?
Yeah, so I do have a Dylan 1050 with the Mark 7 auto drive,
Hmm.
but loading does take up a lot of time. Uh, and I was just loading too before this meeting, but um, yeah, I shoot Tony's Bullets Summit City, but then I'm trying to shoot as many rounds as possible allowed. So I do pick up some factory ammo to practice with. Yeah, because I think there's some benefit to it because when you shoot like hot factory ammo, like 115 grain, 1150 feet per second, it kind of works out your muscles in your hands. So I
Hmm.
think I try to take advantage of that.
No, and that makes sense because time is money, and we never have enough time in the day. It seems like, so
Yeah,
I totally expect somebody even at your level, on pro level, who might have a sponsor or whatnot to go do that, because more practice is more better. But what else was I gonna say? So did you start reloading back when you first started, or did you get into that later?
Um, so I started a little later into it. It's when I couldn't really get good ammunition and the prices were going up. So I was like, hey, all right, I gotta eventually, start doing this. So I had to just place an order for the 1050.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I know when I got into the sport, it was right right before COVID, it seemed, or
Oh
right
yeah,
after COVID. So I bought a press, and I was like, well, it'll sit on my bench for a minute because can't afford to get any primers or bullets
yeah.
at that point. I was like, oh great. So but that's cool. But now what made you decide to get the auto drive on there?
My friend picked it up. So in the same time around, we got a uh, Dylan press and we're loading, and then sometime later, my friend picked up the Mark 7 auto drive, and he's like, "Dude, you have to get it." So he convinced me to get one, and I think it was a good decision down the road.
Right, because then you don't have to worry about hurting your shoulder or your hand when reloading. You kind of just watch the machine work, do its
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's mostly the just doing the same motion with your one arm,
Hmm.
and it just can't be good, and it does show like your shoulder gets messed up. And what's surprising is I've talked to some of the top shooters, and including Nils, he
Hmm.
still loads by hand, and I was just so shocked. I'm like, wow, dude, this guy is crazy.
Hmm.
I couldn't believe it.
Well, I think he tries to load like all like it like at one point in the winter time, and then just have buckets of ammo laying around so he doesn't have to do it all year.
Yeah, I think that's uh the best way.
Yeah, I would think so too. I would think it'd probably be a good way.
Yeah,
I just wish I had the time or the dedication to load all my ammo in the winter. But then I also could think about it this way. Say you're not to the ceiling worth of primers, and you load up a bunch of 9 major, right? And then your
yeah,
gun blows up, and then you're like, but I have no more components to load minor ammo. And then you're like, I'm stuck.
yeah. I know that's the thing. Like things change over time,
Hmm.
and like so. For example, I loaded like now I have about 2,000 rounds left for SIG, but I don't
Hmm.
shoot SIG anymore. So I can't really shoot that in CZ because it's actually loaded longer,
Hmm.
and it has the round nose tip, and CZ won't take it because the chamber is too short.
Hmm.
So it works in basically any other gun, but CZ factory barrel, the chamber is too short for it, so it won't chamber, even though it meets power factor and everything. So
Yeah.
I'll probably end up selling it to my friend.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Keeps them shooting, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. How long did it take you to make Grandmaster in carry optics?
So um, I started from production, went to limited, and then carry optics.
Hmm.
The first couple years of shooting production and limited, I couldn't really get better. So the first 2 years, I didn't know what to do, how to get better, or I didn't have any guidance.
Hmm.
So it's the mentality is just go fast, shoot fast as possible, don't miss or try not to miss. That was it. Like there was no technique involved. Just like try to do it and see if it works. And it didn't really work
Hmm.
until I put a dot on my gun and suddenly I started seeing things better. So it was a game changer. Like, okay, like this is crazy. Like I can actually see where I'm hitting.
Right.
But with the iron sights, I couldn't really do that. Um, so I put a dot and I started really listening to Max Michel,
Hmm.
who I think he really helped me into shaping the fundamentals. that I really needed to get better.
Right.
So it wasn't until I picked up carry optics. Basically, when I picked up the carry optics, uh, my my skill level exploded because I started understanding what needs to be done in competition to get better and perform better in matches.
Okay.
So basically immediately. So what I would tell beginners is like don't mess with iron sights, jump straight into carry optics. You get better so fast, and then you can go back to what like iron sights again, and you'll still shoot really well.
Mm-hmm.
That's my advice to new shooters.
Gotcha. Now, so you started getting better. You get started seeing things with the dot and listening to Max Michelle. Um, are there things that you don't necessarily agree with what Max says? Like anything
Yeah,
in train? Okay. Right.
yeah, quite several things, but I can't really name one right now. But I mean, with even with like any pro shooters, like they say things that I don't agree with, and those things happen. I'm not gonna name who it is, but we talked about. So it's a top shooter. I talked about how to engage a swinger, right?
Right.
And they have their own ways of doing it. Um, so they would tell me how it's done, but when they shoot the match, they get mics on it. So like, okay, I guess then you're gonna have to, adjust your approach because it didn't work. So things like that, those things happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So right, and not everyone tries. There's never a way. It seems like there's always plenty of ways, and everyone's got their own style of
Yeah.
shooting. Some people like to run and post up. Some like to shoot on a move more. Whatever the stage requires. But everyone has their personal flavor of how they shoot stages. It seems like.
Yeah. Even at top level, there's some differences that work for, each shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I guess I have a question on this: is what made you decide to go get an open gun and go start shooting an open?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting story, actually. So I wasn't really interested in open until some of the followers from Korea, I created some training programs for shooters outside of US,
Mm-hmm.
like Korea, because I speak both Korean and English. So I created a program for them to fly over, train with me, and there are some shooters that really wanted to shoot open. So I purchased an open gun so that when they try to train with me here, then they can use the gun or rent the gun from me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's why I picked one up. That's one reason, and then reason two is um, coming from Eric Graffel. He says um, train with open and it's very very beneficial to train with open. So which is the fastest gun
Mm-hmm.
in the whole spectrum of pistol shooting. Uh, so I took those two reasons and picked up a open gun. Took it out to the range, loaded some ammo, took
Mm-hmm.
it out to the range, and I just like basically double tapped at a 15-yard open target, IPSC target. And the group size was like just like that, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was instantly hooked. I'm like, oh my God, this is the easiest gun I've ever shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, let's do it. And that's how I started it.
Gotcha. Now you're shooting what a old STI DVC open, aren't you?
I am.
Is that like originally from STI, or has it been worked on
Oh,
by
so I
anyone?
just bought it from this old guy from a forum, Brian Enos.
Mm-hmm.
He's just too old and he just stopped shooting. And the gun was sitting in the safe for the most of its life. So he was selling it and I bought it. It was in a great condition, like literally less than 1,000 rounds, pretty much brand new. Great deal. Put a dot on it. It was awesome.
Nice. Those
Yeah.
are always the best deals, right? When you find something from somebody's safe and you're able to save it and actually like then destroy the finish because you're going to shoot the crap out of it.
Yeah. But it's in good hands now, right?
Hmm. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you slaughtered with it at Dragon's Cup, and
Yeah,
shot.
it surprisingly turned out okay. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah. Even though you say you probably aren't very happy with that performance, because I listened to you on the Casual Shooter show about it,
Yeah.
about Dragon's Cup, and you were just like, "Oh no, this was bad, this was bad." But you still shot 97% of the
Yeah.
winner. Well, you came in second, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was the biggest takeaway from Dragon's Cup for you then?
Oof. Biggest takeaways. You mean like shooting open or like what are some of the specifics that
Right.
you're
So, like, well, yeah, about so what was your biggest takeaway about shooting open at that match then? We'll start with that.
um so I didn't have a lot of expectation going into this with the open gun because it was my first major match. And I just guess I shot at the pace where it was too comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like it's still open gun is still very easy to use. So it really does sets apart from like non-comped pistols.
Mm-hmm.
It's a it's an easy gun to shoot, and it's a very fun gun to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think if I remember right, you just were talking about, easy, shooting at a pace that was too comfortable. Because was it because you were just shooting at sight's pace, or were you shooting like a predetermined like pace, due to your time and carry optics?
I guess like yeah, timing with carry optics. And I don't think it really matters that much. Like you know, at the end of the day, the fundamentals the same in pistol shooting. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're shooting production, you put a dot on it, you're gonna shoot faster. If you uh put a comp on it, it's gonna shoot even faster. Um, so um, not a huge difference in pace, but I just think I could have shot more aggressively.
Oh, okay.
I was a little bit walking on the eggshell, like, oh, like I don't want to miss at all. So I was a bit too like gentle than the aggressiveness I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I can see that, especially with the new kind of getting used to the new platform, first major match with it. You don't want to feel defeated, I guess. You want to at least be proud of some performance aspect of it because you
Yeah.
don't want to fall on your face and like, I had 20 mics. I went to, didn't see any of my shots at 20
Yeah,
mics on the day.
exactly. Exactly. So I think it worked out really well because I was in a pretty decent squad. I was
Hmm.
squatted with Mason Lane, who's a great GM. Um, so the first day, my pace was a little bit off, but day two, I was, putting some aggressiveness. So, it wasn't the entire match where I was like just, being too careful. On day
Hmm.
two, I think I was doing okay, but it was just the day one, a few stages when I started. Yeah, it was very slow. Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes
But
sense.
other than that, yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. Now, what is your well, actually, let me rephrase this. What are some current goals for you in shooting?
Yeah, so my current goal is to shoot open, uh, shoot for the uh, world shoot team in open division. That's the
Okay.
goal. Yeah.
Now, um, well, that takes what, 3 matches, or is it every 2 years? You like, there's a what IPSC Nats and then the Nats for open.
Yeah. So it counts for this year, Nats, IPSC Nats, and then next year Nats and IPSC Nats.
Okay.
So I think the chance is there. I'll just have to, get some blessing and hopefully I can get a spot.
Right. Well, I mean that's because you're signed up for IPSC Nats. Are you? And I'm assuming you're signed up for Open Nationals this year.
Yes,
Good. That's good. Yeah, because you got to get those slots to go to nationals. So
yep,
you'll be going back to Talladega then this year, which is
I am.
okay. I'm going to segue this from my question. What do you think of Talladega?
Um, so I think the range itself is pretty decent, but one complaint is that they don't have enough bays. They don't have the capacity, and this was mentioned by you know a lot of people already. They don't have that capacity. That's for one, and Talladega, it's a pretty small town, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and as opposed to like maybe St. George or some bigger cities, there the it's not really the perfect place for having a lot of visitors over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like for example, you know, over a decade ago, there used to be, USPSA nationals in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that was the golden age, and I actually ran a survey on the forum. Uh, Basically, shooter voted location for nationals,
Right.
and the top it's still online, so you could probably find it. But the top three locations, but were Las Vegas, St. George, and one other location I can't remember. But basically, those locations are ideal because they have the capacity. The city itself has the capacity to get a lot of visitors in. Look at Vegas. It's really for tourism.
Right.
Um, so people like to come here and shoot. St. George, it's really for tourists too. So I think they should pick a location that is friendly for the shooters, that works out for the shooters.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to fly out to Vegas, things like that. All those things matter. So in terms of all of that, I don't know if Talladega is the best place because I have to fly into Atlanta, drive over 2 hours west to
Mm-hmm.
get to the range. So location wise, uh, I'm not excited to go back. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's I can definitely see that. Yeah, it sucks because then you still got to rent a car. Well, you got to rent a car either way. It
yeah.
seems like
That's true.
because you got to drive around. But yeah, I definitely can see that being an issue.
Yeah,
But I did hear they added 5 more bays to Talladega. So
awesome.
I
Oh my
mean,
god.
if they probably won't stop with double bays. Just because they add 5 bays doesn't mean they'll stop with their double bays.
Yeah,
But I mean, you're used to that. They had 3 double bays at Carry Optics Nationals.
yeah, yeah. I think the or double bays, if that's what you call it. Double bays at the last one, I
Mm-hmm.
think that was okay. Like those are really short courses where you don't have to really move around.
Mm-hmm.
But at the Talladega Carry Optics Nationals last year, they they had like an actual running course in a double bay, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that was kind of like a push. And I hope they don't have to do that again.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, that would not be ideal. And yeah, but so we'll see. We'll see when you guys go down to Talladega again this year. It's
Yeah.
coming up a couple months, well, a little less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Are you going to ramp up your training for that match, or are you just going to be kind of on a consistent pace between now and then?
Oh, I definitely have to because I haven't been really able to train as
Hmm.
much this year, so I have to really ramp it up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So What does your normal training schedule look like then?
I've been really battling over that this training schedule because it's been really inconsistent. Uh, and I work 9 to 5. That's been eating up most of my time, and it's just been really tough to train. I would have to go in the morning, but I haven't been able to do that. I've been sidetracked on other things in life.
Hmm.
So for in preparation for the Open Nationals, I'll definitely be training. I'll be shooting on weekends for sure, and on weekdays, I'll be practicing in the morning, maybe twice, and then dry fire uh, pretty much every day, at
Hmm.
least 15 minutes.
Yeah. So in your dry fire, what are you more focused on? Are you more work focused on the fundamentals or other things?
So when we talk about fundamentals, it's like the draw, the reload, things like that.
Hmm.
I think toward the when you get really close to the nationals or major match, I would really focus on the reload, like small manipulation parts, like unloaded starts, things like that. But um, I try to advance kind of away from the fundamentals in my dry fire session to make it seem more like an actual live fire training. So I'll incorporate a lot of movements and what I would do, like a set up like a small stage and
Hmm.
try to repeat that motion and try to ingrain that motion into it.
Right. Now, and
Yeah.
that's smart. And that's what most of us try to do in dry fire. Some people have better spaces than others, like Jay Beal with his
Yeah.
dry fire basement that we all wish
Yeah.
we had.
And
No,
he can construct an entire stage.
yeah, it can stop. It's an entire bay. He could do it downstairs.
Yeah.
We all wish we had that.
So I applaud him for constructing walls and all that stuff. And I think I saw one of his videos uh, where he had this like window pull down.
Hmm.
And I was like, dude, that's like way too far. But I'm sure he's doing, whatever he's doing, it's working. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Honestly, I have not seen a lot of matches with like ports like that where
Yeah, it's like, it's not very common, but it does
no,
happen. Yeah.
right, but in it truly can test one-handed shooting.
Yeah,
In a true
for sure.
stage, there's,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching a video of Hwansik Kim. There was this, a port with a pulley, and he decided he was going to shoot it freestyle, but he was holding onto the rope. And
Oh,
so,
wow, really?
yeah, I don't know what's that had to have been a couple years ago, but
Huh.
you know, so I mean, there's things, some stages you have to worry about that, but it seems
That's
cool
really
and fun.
cool.
And Jay comes up with the oddest things to train, but it's
I know,
so
that's
fun
what
to
I'm
watch.
saying. I think he gets a lot of fun out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got to be because we wouldn't do this if it wasn't fun. If it was painstakingly painful, nobody would dry fire.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't drop mags on your feet. That's like rule number one.
Yeah, that hurts a lot. I
Yeah.
sometimes like when I'm doing a mag change just static, like standing still, I
Hmm.
I put like a foam pad on my leg just so that it doesn't hit my foot.
Yeah, that's no bueno. You don't want it to hit your foot. That's for sure. So
Yeah, you
I
need
get
that.
yeah. So I guess I want to talk a little bit about, let's actually go to the world shoot. So you went to the world shoot, and were you part of Team Production Optics Light, or were you an
No, I
individual?
wasn't. But had I been on the team, I guess that would have been awesome because my score would have been accounted.
Right, you would have been
I
the
mean, I think they're already.
you would have been the
Yeah,
third score
yeah,
because usually on a team there's four people. You
yeah,
drop the lowest score.
yeah. But I think they still won gold, right? The team, did they?
Yeah, yeah, because it
Okay,
was
yeah,
Luke.
yeah.
How do you say Luke's real name?
Actually, I don't know.
Okay,
Luke.
like, so Luke Cow, right? So, but his name is like
Yeah,
XUEFENG. It's like I don't know how to say it, so I just call him Luke.
yeah, yeah.
Some of my friends will probably be like, "You idiot," and then they'll probably voice message me and be like, "You idiot!" It's blah blah blah. But they
Yeah,
shoot with Luke whenever he's in the area. Like my
yeah.
buddy Renlin, he'll always shoot with Luke.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, and it's it's more entertaining because them having a side conversation. It always sounds so angry, but they're just having a good time. They're giving each other shit,
yeah,
but it's okay. But anyway, so yeah, Luke, and then Max Michelle was third, and then you
yeah,
were fourth.
yeah. It was. It was a
Now,
tough time.
how was well? First, you had to get over there. You had to fly. Luckily, what you could you fly? You flew from Vegas to probably
Yeah.
Thailand. No, not
No, so Vegas to Los Angeles to LAX to
what was the other country? Because there was one country, and then you got to where you were going, right?
maybe it was Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Korea. Yes. For so outbound, it was LAX, well, Las Vegas, LAX, Korea, and Thailand, Bangkok. For coming back, it was I believe it was through Taiwan.
Oh, okay. Now, did you pretty much read the only USPSA shooter on your flight, or was a flight with a bunch of people on it?
I'm sorry, I was trying to think of how I got back. Say
Oh,
one more time.
what when you took your flights, were
Yeah.
you the only U.S. shooter on them, or were there a bunch of other U.S. shooters there?
I think I was the only one because people fly from somewhere away from LAX and they
Hmm.
fly on different dates. So I was the only person, I believe. But coming back, I was flying back with John Villiger, I think Mason Lane and his wife, and a couple other U.S. shooters. So coming back, like I was flying with everybody.
Gotcha. Now, was it a challenge to get all the permits to leave the country and go to fly for the world shoot, or was that relatively hassle free?
So I was a special case because I got a slot last minute, literally like a month before the match,
Hmm.
and I just kind of crashed into it. So I wasn't really informed of the whole process. I didn't really know how to do all those things. Yimin tried to help a lot, but he was also not fully aware of the whole process. So um, it was a huge challenge for me to make it out there. Um, Getting the permit was a big challenge because IPSC does not reply very fast, and days go by, IPSC wouldn't reply. Um, I almost didn't make it because I didn't have the permit, and
Hmm.
nobody from USPSA was handling that matter. So I actually took it, you know, to myself, and um, I went to the Facebook page for the World Shoot, and on that page, the match director was trying to help everybody out with the ammo order and all the permit stuff. So I sent him a direct message.
Hmm.
Hey, this is my information. I'm just trying to make sure that, you know, I am being processed as a shooter. And he was kind of surprised that, like, oh, like you're not on the system at all. So, and we're really getting close, like literally weeks before the match. He's like, oh, you might be too late. And he really tried to push me through, get the permit. Um, I think he has some connections. Obviously, he has to. And
Hmm.
within maybe 3 to 4 days, he got me a permit. Um, so yeah, going to Thailand was a huge challenge, and coming back that was also a huge nightmare.
Hmm.
So apparently, when you fly out with a handgun, you have to have this declaration form.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has 4 digits, and it's like BC something form, um, where you have to get it signed in by like a border control officer
Mm-hmm.
before you fly out, just to make sure that it's basically a ticket that says, "Hey, this firearm is from United States. It's gonna go out, and when it comes back, it belongs in the United States."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I nobody told me about this, so I went to Thailand without any of those forms. So when I try to come back, like the airline would ask for all these forms, like, "Hey, do you have this form?" And I'm like, What form is that?" And they're like, "Okay, you can't board." So massive nightmare. I missed my flight, and I'm just freaking out. And everybody's like, "Hey, like you're supposed to have this form." I'm like, "Well, nobody told me about it."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so um, so I had to stay in Thailand one extra night to get back. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was tough.
So, what was your workaround without having that form originally? What was your workaround to get back into the States with that?
So the biggest challenge when you fly with a firearm
Mm-hmm.
is the the ticketing agent,
Mm-hmm.
because every ticketing agent, they don't really know the rules. They don't really know. They're not really experienced with this, because they don't deal with this all the time. Um, so the workaround was, I if I have a receipt, like a FFL transfer receipt or purchase receipt of that firearm, that can be used as a record
Mm-hmm.
um, to enter to the country. But the so when I try to fly back without any forms, they were asking for it. I didn't have it. They denied boarding. On day two, I reattempted with Korean Air. They didn't ask for anything. They're like, "Okay, go ahead." So they let me fly without any forms. So when I got to US, I think I got to Washington first. Uh, the TSA agent asked for the forms. I just gave them the forms or the receipts for me. And they're like, "Okay, this is cool, works out." And then they let me go. So
Gotcha.
that was the workaround.
Well, that's better than being stranded with, or being stranded with your gun and you're like, I don't know how to get home.
Yeah, or like I even thought about selling my gun in Thailand
to just to get
to
home.
come back home. Yeah. But luckily that didn't have to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. But now you gotta have your forms to
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
So you probably had one of the roughest experiences out there. I mean,
Yes,
Matt
I did.
Hopkins got delayed like I don't know how many times going to the World Shoot.
Yeah.
But so you're over there, you shot what, 5 days?
Yeah, 5 days.
So and then you got a break, you at some point you got your break day or your day off.
Right. For me, it was the last day. So I shot 5 days straight and took one day off the last day.
Hmm. So what was it? I'm assuming you've never shot a 30 stage match before. What was that like? I mean, with just a sheer amount of stages in 5 days.
So I really liked it. So actually, I shot Pan American
Oh, okay.
um, before that, which was 4 days. Uh, yeah, I believe that was 4 days. I shot 4 days, and so I was uh, I was a little bit familiar with how IPSC goes.
Hmm.
5 days, I actually enjoyed that. The first day was the roughest day, like nothing was working, and I think Max was also having a really tough time.
Hmm.
First day, we were both like just totally down. Like we had some really bad stages, had like horrible mics, just complete shit show. So day one was just trash. And day two, day three, day four, I started picking my pace up, and then I think Max and I like kind of finished up top that way. So I think I enjoyed it. 5 days of shooting, it was nice. Kind of exhausting, but on day five, I felt great. I was shooting at the pace that was needed. Um, it wasn't a it wasn't my best performance. I was basically surviving,
Hmm.
but it was a good learning experience.
Gotcha. Now, were you super jet lagged that first day of shooting, or did you
Oh,
get there with enough days to kind of acclimate?
so I guess there's a like a delay in your system. When I first got there, I got there at maybe like 3 a.m. in the morning. Got to the hotel at 3 a.m. in the morning after driving about an hour and a half to Pattaya because we got to Bangkok. I drove down the same morning for about 2 hours, then checked into the hotel. Um, and I woke up at like 8 a.m., ate my breakfast. I went to a practice range that they had set
Hmm.
up. Um, there, I felt great. I was in pristine shape. I shot the local match, just killed it. Went to the ceremony, and then the day one, my body just completely crashed.
Hmm.
So I think if I were to give new shooters advice on World Shoot, go there a little earlier, a few days earlier if you can, even a week earlier, so you can get yourself acclimated to it, so that you don't crash on day one.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely good advice because no one wants to crash and burn on day one purely due to the fact of the jet lag kicking in.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty bad, but I didn't have any issue sleeping.
Well, there you go. That's always
Yeah,
good.
yeah, because I was just too tired. My body was just too exhausted that when I came back to the hotel, I just crashed every night.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Now, so you shot Pan American, so you're used to kind of the IPSC format, a 3-2-1, and like the flavor of running inside the fault lines instead of outside. And
I love it. Yeah.
uh, did did you see anyone have any issues from like from the U.S. with that kind of style of shooting, or did everyone seem to do okay?
I think everybody did okay at the World Shoot.
Hmm.
I did for the first stage at Pan American. Uh, I actually took well. I just wanted to get the brightness correct for my dot, so I did that, and then I got a warning because you can't do that. You're
Hmm.
not allowed to do that. So so that was the only issue I had. But after that, it was a straight shot. So I mean, it's USPSA and IPSC. They're pretty similar for the most part. So it's not a huge issue integrating into it.
Right. I definitely bet there's a lot of people who have had more issues with that than that. So yeah. So now let's talk about Carry Optics Nationals. First time in Ohio.
Oh man,
Um,
yeah.
Other than the rain, what'd you think of the match?
I think the match and the stage were awesome. Like nothing wrong with it. Personally, I know some people had issues with it. I thought they were technically challenging and at the national level. So yeah, match wise, like it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you can't complain. You came in 30, what was
Don't
it?
say that.
36th. You still beat a shit ton of people, even at where you placed, right?
Yeah, it's just I didn't perform at all. It was a horrible time. Yeah.
Now, why do you say that? Because you did have some really good stages on here. Because I'm looking at your individual stage performance, and it didn't like you did too bad overall, other than a couple of stages that were up higher than you probably would like. But why'd you say that?
Yeah. So 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 my strategy was on day one, basically get no mic, right? Just start off clean and
Right.
then pick my pace up after that. But
What zone did you start in though?
I started in zone 1 and then ended in zone 3.
Okay.
So, um first of all, I honestly I wasn't prepared going into the match. I
Mhm.
didn't get a lot of time with the P320. I just didn't have put the time into it, which
Mhm.
is entirely my fault. So I wasn't prepared, and I on on our second stage, I got two mics on that swinger target.
Mhm.
Um, Swinger is like my weakness. Uh, you really have to practice swinger to get it right at big matches. So I kind of took hard from that two mics, and then a couple stages after that, I got a mic on a completely open target. Uh, so I was pretty down, and I kind of didn't know what to do from there.
Mhm.
So I kind of lost the aggressiveness, and I started shooting very slow, and that didn't really help with the points. So I started shooting slow, lost the aggressiveness, and I wasn't shooting any better in points. So I'm losing time and points. So it was just not a very fun time for me.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Well, which is unfortunate, but you realized where it came from is, the lack of practice into it or the time into the platform back into carry optics and
Yeah,
but yeah, so did you shoot the same so you shot out the same stages as the super squad, but did you shoot them in the same flight? So were you shooting PM AM PM?
oh, it was the opposite schedule.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you shot AM PM AM.
Yes, I
So
did.
you shot state zone 1 completely in the rain, bad
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, I already expected it to happen. I was prepared for it. So rain wasn't a factor. It wasn't the factor that was um that was part of my poor performance. It was just
Gotcha.
me, yeah, with the platform. I was
Okay.
really happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's no fun running around in ankle deep water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not, but I'm so used to it now.
Mhm.
They would hold matches at the worst places like Pan American. Oh my God. that was that was just probably the worst rain condition. And
Mhm.
after that, like everything is kosher.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Ohio, like yeah, there was nothing. It was drizzling. I mean, a couple stages where they had some deep water, but that wasn't bad. Yeah,
Mhm. Gotcha.
yeah,
So with that saying about your performance at Carry Optics,
yeah,
you've got now a game plan for Open Nationals, which is coming up. So you're going to be able to put the time in and get back on the gun and perform hopefully like you want. Do you
yeah.
have a preconceived notion of where you'd like to place at Open Nationals?
So a lot of heat, is in carrier optics, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so and I would say a lot of heat left open division. So if I stay disciplined and do as I plan for the next 2 months, I should be top 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be respectable. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. Um, for this nationals, I'm really bummed out because I really wanted to, finish strong.
Hmm.
But now that I performed really poorly, I have to come back next year very strong, and I have a plan for that too. And count me on this.
Hmm. There you go.
Yeah, I'll finish a lot better next year,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
There you go. That'll be awesome. That will be awesome. So,
yeah.
um,
My comeback will be there.
there you
Yeah,
go. That'll always be respectable. You always gotta be the comeback. You
yeah,
can't always leave it on a bad note. But
yeah.
so with that, Any what major? Well, I guess we go into this part of the question. What majors do you still have left in the season then, other than Open Nationals and IPSC Nationals that we already talked about?
Yeah, so I actually was supposed to shoot European Handgun Championship in September. That's after the nationals.
Mm-hmm.
But um uh not going to that anymore. I got pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be shooting Area 3 in August, Open Nationals, uh Desert Area 2, and then I think that's about it for now. I thought there was something in October. Let me check my schedule real quick. It's got to be something in October. Let's see. Yeah, there was supposed to be European Handgun Championship, but that got dropped. So it'll be. I still want to go to Area 1, which is happening next week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but there's no slots left, and I'm constantly communicating with the coordinator to put me in. So there's like maybe 9% chance that I'll go to that match. If not, I'll go to Area 3, Open Nets, IPSC Nets, Area 2, and nothing after that.
Gotcha. So then you'll wrap up your season, it seems like, and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, but I think I'll be shooting uh Extreme Open IPSC in February.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, a month of break, and then I'm basically back in the game. So it'll be February. I'll be shooting a match in Florida, and then I think IPSC Nats is in like March or April, like literally like 5 months apart
Hmm.
for 2024. So I'll shoot that, and in fact, I should probably sign up for that.
Yeah, you got to get a reminder on there if you haven't already.
Yeah, I wish there was like a system on the USPSA to kind of alert with how to sign up and all these stuff, but USPSA doesn't tell you about IPSC registration, but they handle all the IPSC registration. Isn't
Mm-hmm.
that funny?
Yeah, you'd think there'd be some way, or even like have like even matches you want to go to, practice score could notify you, hey, this is opening in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
what,
nice.
yeah, I don't understand why it doesn't work like that because that would be nice.
Yeah, like even the Area 1 match,
Mm-hmm.
like I really wanted to sign up for it, but earlier this year when I looked at it on the website on uspsa.org, it's all there, the all the matches that are happening. I
Right.
click on it, I try to sign up, but um it was too early, so nothing was set up for it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just come back a few months later. A few months later, it was already open for registration, and the slot, all the slots got filled out. I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to fight for it.
Right. Yeah, and especially with it being in middle of nowhere, Billings, Montana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so that definitely does suck. So, but you've got your training plan. It seems like going into the rest of your majors this year, and uh, we expect you to do well. Well, you expect yourself to do well because you have you have your own expectations of yourself,
Yeah.
right? So, well, that's good. I do have a couple more questions for you, but
Yeah.
so who have been some of your biggest mentors or supporters, in the sport, not including sponsors?
That's a tough one. That's one thing that I've been really struggling this year, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I was kind of rising in the sport, uh, my friend who's a master class
Mm-hmm.
was kind of my mentor. Like, hey, we communicate, we try to get better. And then at some point, I surpassed him, and there's no strong shooting group in Southern Nevada.
Hmm.
Like nobody's really seriously shooting. It's really just, hey, let's get together and shoot. Um, which is very unfortunate. Because you gotta have like a strong circle that in the same similar level to get better. At this point in time, I don't have that. So I think that puts me at a disadvantage because like when you look at AMU shooting team, like
Hmm.
they have a strong shooting group, that's just communicating back and forth. Hey, like they're probably exchanging ideas back and forth, and they have a really nice environment for getting better. So that alone, that puts them in a pretty good place. But for me, um, location wise, it's very tough because uh, yeah, not a lot of serious shooters out here, and yeah, I don't have a mentor at the moment. If you want to find me one, I'm I would greatly appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I can definitely see that, mentors and training partners, they're hard to come by, especially when the skill set or the skill level is so different, because it's very hard for a B class shooter and a master essentially to always learn from each other. It's easy for the B class to learn from the master, but not the other
Yeah.
way around.
Yeah, like 95% of the time, B class will be learning from master. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Right, exactly. So now I'm going to lead into this. So this is the part where we pay the bills for the sponsors. So you want to go ahead and share your sponsors and give them a good shout out?
yeah. Oh, thanks for the reminder.
No problem.
Summit City, where quality meets where accuracy and I'm so sorry,
Wait, are accuracy and quality
and
meet?
quality meet. Yeah,
I know it's kind of hard to read it upside down and backwards.
yeah. But uh, one good point note that I want to make is Summit City is awesome in CZ,
Hmm.
freaking awesome. I love it. Accurate. It works really well, works soft. Just it's good stuff. So I'm really excited to shoot the next Carry Optics Nationals with the whole setup.
Hmm.
You so Summit City, and I do my training. Um, I have a website. If you could maybe put that link, I would appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I provide very high quality private sessions um, that'll really take off the in skill levels. So help take off in skill level. A lot of people actually uh, come from out of state. A
Hmm.
few weeks ago, a guy drove from California. Uh, I get guys from Arizona too to get training from me. So and they all give me really good feedbacks. Really helpful training that I can provide. Basically, I can be the mentor that people are looking for.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, if anybody's interested, uh, check out the website and we can go from there.
What is your website then?
It's called Advent Innovative. That's the name of the brand, but oops.
Right. But and then okay, so that's a good segue then. Well, I guess better ways. What's a good way to get a hold of you? On the website, Instagram, social medias? Go ahead and
Yeah,
plug.
Instagram is the best bet. Um, yeah. So if you can DM me there, I can point you to the website, and we can do some email exchanges to uh, set up the schedules and everything. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. So I'll definitely plug that in the notes and but yeah, everyone should go and go check out June's the training website. I'll link all that stuff in the show notes below. Um, any last comments before we wrap this up?
No, I should be fine. Let me try to think of another shout out.
Hmm.
Oh, so lock grips, fantastic grips. I really appreciate what they do with the with their products. It works amazing. Um, what I like about it is, it adds that extra weight that gives you that confidence. Um, and the texture itself is very useful too. Like it is grippy.
Hmm.
It's almost pretty much enough so that I don't need to put any grip on my extra chalk on my hand.
Right.
So they make fantastic products. Uh, Hunter's Gold, Brian has helped me quite a bit. So for the eyewear and KKM barrels, uh, fantastic aftermarket barrels. Honestly, the best, in my opinion. Um,
Hmm.
Honestly, I don't think any other brand beats their price and quality. So KKM, Luke is the owner, has been fantastic with me. I really appreciate him for helping me out with some of the open builds that I'm making with my builders. So
Hmm.
that, and lastly, Tony, thank you so much for providing me with all the support.
Hmm.
Couldn't have done this without him.
Yeah, Tony's a good guy. I was talking to him today. He he's such good to us. I will say that he's so good. Like I don't even have to ask for much, and he's showing
Yeah,
me the
so
love.
real quick, I do want to make a comment about that. So when I first joined Summit City, we didn't really know each other.
Hmm.
So like we're kind of like strangers, and communication was like very sparse, and I didn't really know where it was going until I started doing really well in matches, and Tony started noticing, hey, like, okay, like this guy's like doing really good. He's legit. And from there on, our relationship got better, and it's been awesome. So
Hmm.
yeah, Summit
Yep.
City is awesome.
Yeah. So you guys go check out Summit City. Do you have your own code for people to use? Get you some
Ah,
recognition.
shoot. So Tony did have a code for me some time ago, but I think uh I think he got tired of keeping track of it. But
Hmm.
definitely just check out the website, and they'll drop some discounts. Or we'll when there's discounts, some really good discounts, we actually put them out on social media. So
Hmm.
yeah, keep an eye out.
Yep, they definitely should. But June, thank you for coming on, brother. It's been fun. I've had fun with this, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem,
you.
man.
I'll talk to you again.
Yes, absolutely. And
Are
listeners,
you
go
are
ahead.
you going to any matches?
For me, nothing. My major match season is kind of over now. It was all super early, and
Okay.
so I just have local matches left now.
Okay. All right. Let me know when you sign up for a major match, and we can meet there in person.
Oh, absolutely, we'll have to do it.
All
But
right.
but but listeners, until next time, get out and do the things, and I'll see you on the next one.